My first convention experience was, I think in England, it was an SG-1 convention. I was freaked out. We walked on stage and I felt like a rock star. Like the fans went nuts. It was in this hotel convention room, this ballroom kind of thing with a stage set up and a little mini gate, and it was unbelievable. And the fans went crazy. I was like, huh? For me? I was looking around seeing who else had walked on stage. So I was pretty freaked out by that, and I was amazed at the enthusiasm so early on that the fans had for the show. Usually it's a couple of days, and I do an hour or an hour and a half on stage, just talking to the audience, and then autograph signing, which can take upwards of 4 or 5 hours, depending on how many people want autographs, and a photo session with the fans, which usually involves, depending on the event, just either standing there and the fans just cycle through and get pictures, and charity, usually some sort of charity auction that we have to do. Some events require a cocktail hour or dinner or breakfast. There's always some social event. It's very hands-on, which is I like. I like the fact that you get to really meet the fans. You're not up on a stage and separated by an autograph table. You actually get to meet and greet face-to-face the fans, which is wonderful.
Tell you guys later. Can I have another kiss on the cheek?
It's not nerdy. It doesn't seem at all nerdy when you're there. When you watch Galaxy Quest, you sort of go, oh, you roll your eyes. And if you're not a sci-fi person or a sci-fi fan and you watch a movie like that, you sort of go, oh, these people are loony. Then you meet them and you go, man, they're really cool. And they're smart and they make great costumes. So I guess in that sense, the illusion was shattered. I didn't know what to expect. Being up on stage, first of all, I get nervous as all can be before I get up on stage. Like I freak out backstage. You jump around and partly because you're so enthusiastically received. It makes it quite wonderful. And you're pretty warmly embraced the minute you step on stage. So it's hard to not enjoy that.
What's it like to have 1,000 people sing happy birthday to you? Oh my gosh. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amanda. Happy birthday to you.
From an ego perspective, it's quite phenomenal. I mean, it's something you really sort of have to keep in check because you go, I'm not a rock star. I'm just lucky enough to be on a television show. But you're so warmly embraced that settles you down. And then I usually just open the floor up to questions, and that starts all these great stories.
I'm going to count that as a full question.
Fans ask some really, really interesting questions. And that's something else about our fans, is that they're really highly intelligent. They get it. They get the subtle nuances of the humor and the not so subtle, and they get the science part of it, and they get the archaeology part of it. I mean, they get it. They get the mythology of our show.
I don't know why in the past seasons that it's always you who carry the wounded, and you have 3 strong men.
It looks strong. No knees. Richard Dean Anderson, bad knees, bad back. Michael Shanks just doesn't want to.
Okay, half question is, what was the most interesting planet you've been on?
Interesting planet? I go back to Kimpia's planet for some reason. In the very early days, when Jack got old and people were all happy and aging quickly, there was a great beach.
enthusiastic greeting towards Sam. Could you give us a rundown of what was in that scene?
Harmony, I can't remember the whole scene, but it was basically where she confronts him and says, you know, you went and visited everyone else, why didn't you visit me? And he says, well, because you didn't need me. If you were in a desperate situation, you didn't need me. And I was like, but I missed you. And he said, yeah, but you didn't need me.
You play like a scientific genius on this show, but has there ever been a script that you've read that where you scratch your head and say, what's this?
I've actually, you know, one of my best Bibles for that is Stephen Hawking's book, A Brief History of Time, which I refer to all the time. It's my weather-beaten copy of that. There was a number given in an episode about the number of people that would die in a specific explosion, blah, 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 blah. So, I came up with this massively elaborate mathematical equation where P equals the number of people over R squared equals pi equals this, and so I went running up to the producers and said, wrong! They were like, and I said, okay, P is the number of people over R squared equals this, and then you times it by 10,000, which is the number, blah, 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 and I went through this, and they sat there just going, and I said, so it's actually 1.157. And they were like, okay, honey, just change it on the day. We should get on the show too long.
The amazing thing about our conventions is, A, the enthusiasm and the fact that people do dress up in sometimes amazingly elaborate costumes. There's a woman who dresses as Nem, so it's all full, like almost rubbery prosthetic. And I've seen a few really great costumes from Emancipation. People who dress up in the full SG-1 gear. So that's one thing that's pretty amazing. The demographic is astounding. From little kids to 90-year-olds who watch the show, and entire families who watch the show together, who make it like an event. Or mothers who come up with their daughters and say, we watch the show and we said it's our Friday night together, that's what we do. And like that amazes me. So I think it's kind of cool that whole families sit and watch our show. It's like a little event.
My name is Chris White. This is my daughter, Sarah. Well, we got this brand new lithograph that we're going to get autographed today. And then we're going to put it in our media room where every Friday night we get together as a family and we watch Stargate.
Well, I really have grown to really like the characters, and I think they're really cool to look up to as role models or just someone to make you laugh when you're watching it. And Stargate is just a really interesting show.
The best thing that I like about it is Amanda Tapping. And I don't mean that because I'm a guy. I mean that because she is a attractive, intelligent leader woman. And I have 3 daughters, and that's just absolutely the most perfect thing for a dad to have a role model like that for my 3 girls to look up to. So she's pretty special to us because of that.
Our demographic has changed since we first started. It's much broader. I'm amazed at the age range of people. I really am. And the social demographic too. Real astrophysicists and professors to firemen to cops to, I mean, everything. It sort of had stretched across all supposed social boundaries. It's pretty phenomenal.
In real life, I happen to be a EMT, which is a medic, and I also happen to be a police officer, so I try to carry medical supplies as I need.
The most astounding thing for me, and really emotional thing for me, is when people come up and tell their personal stories about how the show has either helped them get through a really difficult time, or people come up because, especially young women, because they're getting better grades in math or better grades in science or better grades in general because they want to be like Sam Carter. Like, that's freaky. A young woman who's joining the Air Force because she's so inspired by this character and by the characters on the show.
Amanda Tapping really drew me in. I'm a United States Air Force veteran, and her portrayal of military women really intrigued me. We see so few strong women on TV. I absolutely love watching her.
Teachers who come up and say that they actually talk about Stargate in their classrooms to young girls. That's amazing. Mothers come up with their daughters and say, we watched the show together. And my daughters are proud and strong and stronger women because they want to be like Sam Carter. It's astounding. That's a huge impact. The experiences that stand out, for me, it's when people come through either the autograph lines or the photo lines or at the breakfast or cocktail hours where you actually get a moment to speak one-on-one to people. And it's very emotional. People come up crying and, you know, you don't know what you've done for me. And I don't think I could ever possibly repay the kindnesses and the love and support that I get from them.
I can't possibly give back to you what you've given to me. I just can't. So the best I can do is say thank you so much.
When they tell you these little, you know, their personal stories, their heartfelt moments, and they're weeping, that always strikes me. And it's happened with a lot of young women especially. And that makes me, I'm so proud of this character and proud of this show. But when you actually meet people face to face who you know that it's had an impact on because of the character you play and because of how she's, you know, developed and whatever, then that's like, I can't even put into words what that means.